attack.
Mm.
Oh, those of you guys who are hashtag replay gang, please go ahead and check the description box below. I should have written in there what time we're going to get started. I think I was supposed to do that last time and I didn't. I don't know.
I remember you writing down timestamps.
Yeah, did I go back in and add it? I don't think so.
Debatable.
I don't think so. I've been in a brain fog since I went to work on Tuesday. So that would have been Monday night.
Okay.
Yeah, I drove to work. Don't know how I got there.
Oh.
Got back. I was at work and I was like, I told them, I was like, I don't have any fight in me. So like, if you are like, hey, EG down, or like, hey, fix that conveyor, I will mosey there. I will look at it
And walk away.
and I'll walk away. I'm telling you right now, I don't have it in me. And they were like, okay, go home. I was like, yeah, bye.
Oh,
so,
they were like, okay, on that note, farewell.
Farewell, yeah. And I was like, I'm gonna go. So I left and yeah, it was surreal because somebody was like, okay, put this here and do that. And I was looking at them and I was like, I need to go home. And they were like, okay, have a good one. So I left at 3, drove home. That was a really hard drive. I remember that. That was difficult.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it like you said, fatigue?
Yeah, because it was still dark. I mean, on the way there, I don't know how, just pure like just pure like pushing through as a Black woman in the world, you know? And then on the way back was pure like, I'm just a girl. How did I do this? How did I get there? So got back 3:30, got in the bed, in and out of sleep the entire day. Didn't go live. Didn't tell the community I wasn't going live. Then woke up today, got in the shower, almost fell in the shower, and then got out of the shower, contacted my manager and was like, I will not be coming in today.
This was last night then.
That was last night, this morning.
Yeah.
Did you try the red beans and rice? Because somehow in between there,
I took a couple. Yeah, that's why I'm like, you cooked a whole meal.
Yeah. Somehow in between there, I got up.
It's delicious. I only took one spoonful because I had just eaten lunch, so I'm saving it for dinner. But
somehow in between there, in and out of sleep. It was in the crock pot. I just kept checking it.
And are you working tonight?
So we'll see.
Okay. Godspeed, sister.
I know. Thanks. Okay, 40 people in the room and somebody on Facebook. All right, let's get this party started. All right, so we're gonna get started at 3. Let's just put that. And hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated. Welcome to my recap of Love is Blind, Season 10, Episode 10 and 11. My name is Wah. I do recaps of relationship reality TV shows such as Love is Blind, 90 Day Fiancé, Love After Lockup. So if you are all interested in that content, please go on ahead and subscribe to my channel. With me today is my lovely co-host. She is a member of Melrose Place, which is our building complex. Her name is Shay.
Hi, friends. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Everybody.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes, 65 people in the room. Okay, I see you. You know, if you're on Facebook or YouTube and you want to like drop a comment to be like, hey, I see 74 people. Come on, room. Come on.
Can we get to 100?
Don't forget to share this video wherever it is that you deem fit. And let's jump into this boring 2 episodes. You didn't think it was boring?
I didn't actually write down any of my thoughts. I literally just finished watching episode 11, but I think this is the part of the season where it gets mundane. Like we can already assume who doesn't like each other. We already know who's not really going to make it. We've already met their families. Like, our opinions have been formed. Right now, it's just like, what's the result? Are you getting married or not? So I can understand why this would be boring because there's no climax happening.
Yeah, but usually there's still some sort of like, are we going to get married drama? The only people who really gave it to us were Britney and Devontae, and then it ended up being Bree and Connor that gave it to us. Everybody else kind of just, it was fine.
Well, Alex
Um,
and Ashley had a little bit of drama,
oh
and
yeah, they
then he
did.
decided to order McDonald's, and I guess that was over.
I loved it.
I was like, "I would like a six-piece, actually.
Yes,
Thanks for
yes.
asking."
I I went down to the corner store and I got myself a cherry vanilla Coke because I was like, I would like a Coke as
Little
well.
bubbles.
Little
Yeah,
bubbles.
yeah. And you know me. How many
Yeah,
times have I said to you after a night out, like, "Should we a
should go
Big
to
Mac?
McDonald's. You
Should
know
we go to
how many times?
McDonald's?"
At least 3 times Shay and I have just like, she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing. Okay,
Go
let's go to
McDonald's.
McDonald's.
And listen, I told you we discovered a White Castle, so
I
that
haven't had
that's
White Castle.
ever in your life?
Yeah, I lived in Queens where that one was off the 40. I mean, off the 7 on 40th, and I just never went to it.
You've never had a White Castle in your life?
No,
This is so
and
exciting because you'd be the second neighbor that I introduced this to.
I feel like it's
Derek also had never had
gross.
any.
It's not
Well,
gross.
duh.
Oh,
Yes, absolutely. But as is all of it.
oh, okay.
We must try it. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Yes, we're gonna do that.
Okay. Yeah, I lived by the ones that was McDowell's in the
Yes.
yeah, that's the one I lived by. I told my brother, I'm like, this is McDowell's. They turned it into a White Castle, or like
Yeah.
it probably was a White Castle and they changed it into McDowell's. But coming to America, I lived in that part of Queens. Okay, so as you can see, it says episode 10, no notes.
0.
No notes until the next page. So basically, I didn't take any notes where Chris was having a conversation with Bree because
Mm.
I just was so enthralled in the shenanigans of it all that I ended up not taking any notes. So from my recollection, from what I can recollect, is that he's drunk, like 2 sheets to the wind drunk,
Mhm, mhm.
and he is talking to Bree and telling Bree how great she is, how great they would be together, how he's an alpha, and she needs somebody to give her direction, and she's so hot. She's the hottest thing that he's ever seen, and that he ended up with Jess because he had a conversation with Connor and they decided to divvy up who was going to be with who. But at the end of the day, does she just want a normal, like, whatever normie guy with no direction and no like some sub to her, and just all this like really gross misogynistic, like, patriarchal nonsense, that I just was like, bro, you have completely drank the Kool-Aid and you are not a modern man at all. And you are
He's
not
messy.
the kind of man that she wants, because she wants to be a soccer mom. You want to be a hedge fund guy who's
Mhm.
like doing coke in the bathroom and partying until he's 45. And she's not that. And the fact that she just sat there and took all of that in was so peculiar to me, because I think an argument can be made for the fact that maybe she just doesn't just wanted to hear him out, wanted to have that be good TV. Maybe her producer was very excited, was like, yes, keep him talking, right? Because it did make great
Yeah.
TV. But at the same time, she didn't come clean to Connor about everything that was said, and she didn't really stop him in the moment. It's like, yeah, go ahead.
Well, I think it was clear that not only was he drunk as hell, but he was on the slopes. He was on
Okay.
that Lindsay Lohan in the back in the bathroom. You can tell he was just real paying a lot of attention to his jaw, super red in the face. And you can tell that he was not in his right mind, but I think his drunk mind is the same as his regular mind. So I don't know that we got a different version of him. I think he's just a piece of shit. And he was like, how can I maximize every opportunity to show the world that I am in fact a piece of shit? Because I
Mm-hmm.
think he leaned into that so much. And I
Mm-hmm.
think Bree created the space for him to just thrive
Mm-hmm.
there.
Mm-hmm.
I a part of me, a part of me felt that Bree was just handed him the shovel to dig his own grave.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that's giving Brie a lot of credit and a lot of strategic credit that I don't think she deserves. I think she has pick me energy. I
Mm-hmm.
think in that moment she, like you said, wanted to hear it out. She's been seeking this closure and been talking about all of these other connections, and everyone's just acting like it's nothing. Brie is someone who I would not want to even be friends with, much
Mm-hmm.
less like date, because she moves funny. She accepts shitty behavior from men. She creates a space for men to be shitty. I don't like that. I felt like there were so many opportunities for her to shut things down, to have him stop speaking so poorly about Jess, and she just created so much real estate for him to keep going and keep going and keep going. And I thought that was tacky. I thought that reflected really badly on her. I think she didn't think she'd be collateral damage in his outburst and all of that, but she definitely, in my world, she got wrapped up in his tornado. And there's
Yeah.
nothing she could have said that would have made me think otherwise. I will say she tried to salvage things at the very, very end. And
Mm-hmm.
equally, you can tell that the producers at the show were trying to elevate her shittiness and then kind of give her a bit of redemption at the tail end, because she straight up says like there's no one else I would do this experiment with. It's Connor or nobody. Like that was like a last Hail Mary,
Mm-hmm.
where she really tried to give off the impression that she was shutting down everything Chris was putting out. And you can even tell by his reaction. He was
Yeah.
like he thought she was leaning into everything, because again, she just stood there and was
Yeah.
kikiing with him. So I
Mm-hmm.
could understand why he would think that she was full in on this bash fest.
Yeah.
Only for the last 30 seconds to be like, actually, no.
She's a dangerous like frat girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, she gives me like dangerous frat girl where like you're somebody who can't be trusted. You can't hang your hat on that person. They seem like such a forward speaking person, but they are also kind of a coward at the end of the day, and somebody who'll just be like, well, I didn't say it. It just got said to me and I heard it. How am I in trouble because I didn't say it?
The
And I think that
moderates.
really, yeah, yes. I think that I think that she's dangerous. Yep. And I think like maybe Ashley's that way too. I think there are a lot of girls in Ohio and the Midwest who look like Brie who are that way. And
They
those are
rather
the
play in the
ones,
safe space. They
yeah, and they
play in the
think they are.
margin.
Yeah, they think they are, but because of that margin playing, they are dangerous. Because they will just let the men in their lives do whatever and not stop them from poor behavior and say that they are like, oh, I didn't do that. My husband was the one who voted for him. I didn't
Exactly.
vote for him. I
Yes.
didn't vote at all actually because I didn't know, but my husband voted for him. It wasn't me. She's dangerous. And so in that moment, I felt really bad for Connor because I thought at the end of the day, like he doesn't deserve, and no one deserves somebody like Brie except for Chris. Like they deserve each other.
Yeah.
So there's that. We move on to other couples, and we get a soundbite of Jordan telling Vic that he's nervous about meeting Emma. And for some reason, that sends Amber off the deep end. And I know why it does, but I just feel like I think Amber is going to need more therapy in her life if she's going to do this thing. I don't think
Yeah.
she's had enough therapy.
It kind of
Uh,
surprised me, her reaction in that moment. Equally, I didn't hear any glaring alarm bells in what Jordan was saying. I just saw
yeah,
him, essentially walking into the reality of the situation, which is like, this is the most important person in her life. I want to make a good impression, but equally, like, I never saw myself falling for someone with this kind of dynamic. And I don't know. I don't know what I don't know. And I
yeah,
think he was just being honest about it. But I think it, understandably so, like you said, for Amber, to her, she's like, if you can't accept my daughter, it's a wrap. Cut the cameras. Like there's no room to play there. It's either
yeah,
you do or you don't. And she got on the defensive. I get it. I get it. I thought it was kind of an aggressive reaction, or a reactive reaction. I don't think she really heard the full gist of what he was saying for her to respond in that way. But you can tell that those are feelings that she will always have on the surface. So I agree with you that either therapy or something, maybe a secure partner or relationship, can contribute to that kind of healing. But most parents kind of respond that way.
yeah. I just think that sometimes you see people be so like protective and like aware of how their child might feel, and uh and the partner that they're bringing into it being so aware. But then you have other people who just like move the nigga in, just move them in, don't even ask their kids, don't even have not a moment of thought
Yeah.
about their child. And so it's just interesting to me that it's also interesting to me to Jordan that this is such a big deal, especially because he has nephews. Like,
Mhm.
to me, if you had never been around a child, then I could see you being as nervous as maybe he is. But if I were her, would want to know more about why he wasn't appropriate. Am I like, do you think you're a danger to my child? Like, what is it that you think that, do you think that you're going to have to immediately jump into the space of father?
I think a lot of times for a lot of people, that is what it is. The lack of clarity around
Their
the
role?
role they play in I don't even wanna say in that child's life, but it's like being around that child environment, meaning, like, if they're at the house and, you know, Amber's in the kitchen cooking and maybe he's hanging out in the living room and the TV's on and she knocks something over. What is it like a, oh, you know what I mean? Like little things like, "Oh, be careful with that. Is that too much? Is that, did I alarm her? Is it like, is it discipline? Is it just feeding information to you? Is it keeping, if she does something and says, shh, do I keep that secret?" I think that's what it often is. You don't know how to show up.
Mm,
And I will say,
mm,
I do think for some men, when they see like nephews, if it's nieces, maybe it's different. I don't see a
mm.
difference, but
I
I think
don't,
they can see
yeah.
a difference in how they would
Yeah.
interact, you know what I mean? And not that it warrants anything valid, but to them, I think it's like they're like frozen. I don't know how to move, so I won't move at all.
Yeah, that's interesting because I'm just like, been around kids so much all my life that I'm just like, I mean, unless it's only one child. Now, if it were two or three, that's
Yeah.
when I'd be like, oh no, I can't do that.
And she's
But
like
one,
7, right? Like, it's not like a 2-year-old.
it's like it's like this is somebody that you could just have a general conversation with, and
Yeah,
as you go, it'll be fine. So
yeah,
he what I hear him say to Vic is, I bought her some coloring pencils, the good kind, but I am just concerned as to like what that's gonna look like. And then Amber turned around, who's ear hustling, and she goes, hey, just so you know, if you want to bail, you can. And
yeah,
I
which
thought she
that was,
meant,
oh, like
if
in the
you ready
event.
to go home, yeah. I was like, yeah, me
Yeah,
too. I had to rewind it because
yeah.
when he's like, oh, that's not what this was about. When he says that to her, I was like, what
Mhm.
happened? So I had to rewind it and go, oh, she got upset. And then they get back to the house, and she is like, she tells the cameraman that she can't, or the producer, that she's not going to be able to talk to him for the rest of the night, and doesn't tell him that she's not going to be able to talk to him for the
She's an
rest of the night,
avoidant.
and just ignores him.
She's an avoidant. You can tell that she's flared up. Another thing to remember is that how men speak to their partners and how they speak amongst their bros is different. They'll take an extra minute with their partners. Choose their words carefully with their partners. When you're talking to your bros, you're just kind of saying things at the surface level. You're not being cognizant of how it's coming out. So the way he delivered it to Vic is not how he would have delivered it to her. And I think it caught him off guard. I do ultimately like in this episode how they resolved this dynamic. I think we talked about this in the past where like if you're focused on repair, if you're both focused on repair, you'll be able to land somewhere safely and feel that like what you brought to the table, what you raised, what was a concern for you has been heard and not like shamed for bringing it up. So I do like how they problem solve. And this is the first time we're seeing any bit of tension between these two. And I do think again, if this was, I think any other topic, I don't think Amber would have reacted so like, hey, if you want to bail, you can like, so like short with it. I don't
Yeah.
blame her for being that way because she's just hypersensitive around her daughter, and I get it. And equally, she's thinking like, hey, you're about to meet her for the first time. Don't make me bring someone around my kid if you're not going to stick around. That's something that like a lot of parents are like, I won't forgive myself for that. I kind of liked how the conclusion of the scene played out.
I liked how the conclusion, I just wish that it had happened that night. Like, I
Yeah,
think the idea of just shutting down until the next day, and then he's like, I didn't think you would shut down like that. And
yes.
she says, well, this is me making a different choice. I came here today. And I go, so you weren't going to come here today?
But that is a big step for avoidance, who typically would have been like, I wouldn't have even showed up. I would have just been like a text, been like, "Hey, no thanks."
Oh,
Yeah, because when you get so fearful of vulnerability, of being like, "Hey, that hurt me and this is why," or "Hey, like I don't know what you meant in that moment, but it brought up all these doubts. Like I haven't been doubtful before, but what you said in that moment just like triggered something, my fight or flight." And she does admit that in one of the confessionals. So I feel
yeah.
like this is her, and her being like, me just showing up. I In that moment I was like, yeah, I've behaved like that in the past where I'm like, the old me would have ran and text you or ran and blocked you.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I would have come here to confront this issue,
Hmm.
you know?
You know what? I saw this TikTok that said this one lady on TikTok, and I'll send it to you. She's like, "You know what? At this big age, like I don't have to have a conversation with you. You move funny. Hey, dating doula, you move funny, and that's just it. I'm out." I have to send it to you. It's not as cut and dry
Yeah,
as that, but
yeah.
it's made me think of like something how I move these days, where I'm like we don't have to have a conversation where I'm like, oh, we're not friends anymore. Like I'll never
Mhm.
have that conversation, but it'll be so of like I'm gonna pull back a little bit because I can't give you all that I once gave you. And it's just so interesting that there are people who will just like pull back a lot.
Yeah.
We'll just take the
I'm
whole thing.
Imma pull back a lotter.
Okay.
I'm a
I'm gonna
big
send
pull
it
back
I'm
a
gonna
lotter,
send it to
yeah.
you once
Please
I
do, yeah, because when
so you
any
send it to
opportunity
me.
I can get to hold a mirror up to myself, I welcome it. But yeah, there's a lot of yeah, there's been a lot of times where it's dependent on the partner you have. You have 2 avoidance, it's a wrap. It's
Yeah.
2 people who are like, "Nope, can't be bothered, can't be bothered." There's no reconciliation there, and it could be something so small to the dynamic, but it's no one's willing to kinda bear the brunt and face it. But
Yeah.
I will say it's incredibly jarring in a situation like Amber's when you have someone who's like, "Hey, like, sit here with me. Sit in this discomfort with me. Like, let's come on, like, let's just talk." Like that, the first time I had that, I remember being like, "What do you mean, sit in the discomfort?" And it's like, "Let's just go through it together." And you're like, "What's that like?" Okay. It's like it's weird because especially if it's people, or especially if you've been hurt in the past, or you feel like you can't trust, or that every time you've let your guard down, someone's just like picked apart your emotions. Like all of that stuff is scary. You can tell Amber's been through stuff, and that's what Jordan brought up. He was like, "That's not fair. That like I understand you've been with shitty men in the past. I mean, point me to a woman who hasn't, right? But like, can you just focus on the type of man I've been to you? I'm not a dirtbag. I'm not a scumbag." And
Yeah,
it's tough for
I
him.
heard him in that moment, but I was also like, there's no way that you can get me to make a different choice based on the pattern of behavior that I've seen. And so I got
Really,
her in that
never?
moment. Yeah, like unfortunately, like my pattern of behavior that I've seen from men is
Mhm,
I've explained it, like fourth
mhm,
date and then all of a sudden it's gone, or things are going good and all of a sudden they just fall
mhm.
off. So when someone's like, "No, that's not going to be me." I'm like, "Okay, we'll see."
Yeah.
Like, and there's nothing that you can say that's gonna make it be different now. I can still show up, but I'm still going to like she's like, "Men have said that to me before. What are you talking about?" Like, there's no way that I'm just gonna be like, "Okay." Now, she was like, "Okay," by coming back, and I agree with you on that. And so to a certain extent, like maybe this is her making a new choice. But she said, "At the end of the day, I just wanna know how you're feeling before you tell other people about it in a loud bar where
Valid.
everyone can hear." And I said,
Valid.
"That's valid." So
Yeah.
then we move on to Bree and Connor, and they talk about, uh, what happened
Wait,
between
do we move on to Brie and Connor?
what else did we talk about?
There was still a lot in that party room. We got Priyanka and Ashley and Alex.
Oh, yeah,
We
yeah, yeah,
also
yeah,
got a
yeah,
little
yeah,
bit
yeah.
of, not that it matters at this point, we got a little bit of Kia and
Chris
Kevin
we got Kia and Kevin, and we got Chris and, Jess,
and
and, like, yeah,
Jess.
sorry, I forgot about that, all that.
Yeah. And I didn't write any notes either, girl.
You're right. I was just like, Amber is pissed with Jordan, Bree and Connor. Okay. So yeah, we had a weird conversation with Alex and Ashley and Priyanka, where Priyanka ended up having to excuse herself because Alex was feeling ganged up on, and he really turned to Priyanka on it. And Priyanka was like, boop, I
He
didn't
really
ask
thought that because they knew each other from way back when, whenever that was,
that she was gonna
that
have his
she
back.
either she was gonna I think he thought that either she was gonna have his back or she was just gonna be completely silent neutral. But I think, you know, Priyanka and Ashley were speaking first and he came by. So the second he started getting a little chirpy, I would have been like, First of all,
No, they
change your
walked
tone.
away. They walked away from Bree and Chris to go talk
Yes,
to Alex.
the 2 girls, but I'm saying the 2
Yeah.
girls were already in dialogue. So for him being like, "Yeah, and then why are you here?" I would have been like, "Oh," I would have been
Yeah.
like, "To shed light on your lies, you little bitch." Like, 'cause he was doing way too much. I thought Priyanka, to be fair, I thought we were gonna get more juice from the Priyanka bit, it's clear that that's incorrect, and what the interwebs assumed Priyanka's role was in all this was not really true.
Yeah, I guess I just like, why does the timeline need to,
I
what,
don't know why it's important,
yes,
to be
it's
fair.
before you. Who cares?
Who cares the sequence? To her, I guess, because I had to replay this because I'm like, what is the issue? What's the
Yeah.
problem, babe? And from what I gathered, he said to her, "Oh, I went to Austin, like she assumed to visit." When Priyanka was like, "Oh, I thought you moved there." To her, that's the issue. Like, "Oh, so I thought you were going there to crash with or to visit your ex, but you were moving there with your ex." And he's like, "I wasn't moving there with her. I was exploring it. It wasn't a city I want to live in, so it didn't count." And Priyanka's like, "But you told me you moved."
He's like, okay, well, yeah, maybe I did.
I don't
All
think
right.
any of it matters. Like, the fact that it got
Yeah,
airtime,
it's
surprising.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy to me that it got airtime. So it just showed their little argument between Ashley and Alex, and Alex is like getting an attitude, and then I was like, nah, I don't like it when men get like
When
fussy
men.
with women.
That's the end of the sentence. I don't like it when
Yeah.
men.
I don't like it when men get fussy with women, especially if that's like Priyanka's his homegirl. I could see him dealing like that with her. But like, if Priyanka wasn't his homegirl, I'd be like, boop. Like, I don't know. I expect men to be a little bit more graceful
Mhm.
and to never argue with a woman. Like, it just walk away at that point. You don't need to
Yeah.
argue with a woman. Um, and then we get Chris who wants to talk to Jess, and so they get pulled aside, and he is like,
Awkward.
huh?
Awkward.
Yeah, he is like, when are you free? And she's like, I'm not free. I've been working this entire time. And he's like, well, like, let's, and she's like, no, let's not. We already had our opportunity. And like, I was in love with you. You told me that you didn't want me because you wanted somebody with a tighter body. And you also told everyone here, which she doesn't know about yet, that I was the worst sex you'd ever had.
Mm. That's
And that you don't want to be with that. You want to, I don't know, fuck tall hot bodies until you're 60. So,
he really thought I think I don't know who he thinks she is,
yeah.
but she's exactly who she thinks she is.
Yeah.
Like, again, that's such a great point that you just brought up. She doesn't know all the extra nonsense that he's been talking about her that very night.
Yeah.
And when she watches it back, I think she should be very proud of herself, knowing that she was like, "I didn't even give him a glimpse. I didn't even crack the door open a smidge for his
Yeah.
bitch ass."
Yeah, and I wonder if he's going to show up to the reunion.
Oh, I would think so. He looks like he loves the sound of his own voice.
I mean, there have been guys who haven't shown up to the reunion because of the
Yeah.
way that they performed in the show and just knew that they were going to get like
Chewed
jackhammered.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
I thought she just did.
there's nothing that he can say. He said, like, he was like, what is Connor gonna do? Fight, beat me up? Like, there's just so much shadiness about him
Ugh,
roaming around this event. And he
yeah,
did so much in this event. He did so much at this event. It's
right.
shameful. It's a shame on his house, on his family.
And the thing is, there's truly no way to spin his edit. Like, I wonder
Yeah.
if production dug even deeper, they'd be like, "No, we spared him.
Yeah.
This is the light stuff." You know what I mean? I would have been like, "There's no way we can't salvage you, bro.
Yeah.
Like, this is who you are, babe."
Yeah. They're like, he bought followers, like
Ugh,
he's just a disgusting little man. Yeah, so Jess was just like, yeah, there's no way we're gonna hang out, we're gonna meet. He's like, really? And she's like, yeah. He's like, oh. Like, he's like shocked. He's like, well, we could have tried. And she's like, you told me you thought my body was
right.
disgusting.
But I can't lie to you, I'm actually even surprised that because first of all, when he walked up to where she was sitting
She
and he, like, gave his back to her because he was, like, facing Connor, and he was, like, taking a deep breath, like, kinda mustering up the courage to turn around and say something to her, but she clearly noticed that he, like, put his back to her face because she was facing
Yeah.
him, and, to me, like, that went on a second too long because I would've been like, "First of all, back up off me." Like, it probably I would've reacted there. That alone would've irked me. Then when he turned around, it was like, "Hey, how are you?" And she was just like, "Hi, I'm well, how are you?" She was maybe it's a Midwest thing. So many small talk and pleasantries, and even when he was like, "Do you wanna go and talk in private?" And she said, "Yeah." The whole time she's saying yes, I'm like, "Where am I? Why are you
Yeah.
saying yes to this man? Why are you still giving him space, camera time, whatever?" And again, to your point, I learn something new every day about this show. I didn't realize that each of them had their own producers, and each of them is kind of being given guidance as to the conversations they want them to have and all of that. Who knows if she's still getting whispers from her own, being like, hey, private conversation would be great, da 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 da, whatever the case may be. Because a girl like me would have been like, eh, wrong answer, forehead. Weird. There's nothing to talk about. Nothing to talk about. No thanks. Move around.
No
I'm
thanks.
talking to the girls.
No gracias.
I was surprised that she even agreed.
Yeah, I was surprised that she agreed too, especially because of his behavior afterwards. But she doesn't even really even know, like, he's drunk.
Ugh.
Like, I wouldn't have been able to. I can't have a good conversation with anybody who's drunk. Like, you know, in that moment he felt so secure to come off of that like fire escape, walk into that house, sit down, and be like, I'm just spitballing here, but like I'm used to being with like tall, tight baddies, and like, your house, your wealth, your skill set, you're short, you're dark.
Too much.
Yeah, too much for me. He said, you have dark features, he says to her. Like, she's like, wait,
She's like,
stop
you
that.
don't need to, right. You don't need to go
Yeah.
down the list of why I'm attractive. Like,
Yeah. Thanks.
oh, he's
Thanks, Bill.
so yuck.
Yeah. Yucky yuck.
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 Yuck. Good
Okay.
riddance.
Anybody? Oh, Kevin and I thought the girls like really kind of surrounded Kevin in a weird way. Like, can't they just see that Kevin is floundering, a floundering fish, and he doesn't know much of anything? And like he came there with like what looked like ingrown hairs in his beard, and like, leave
His
Kevin
body
alone.
language from the beginning of the pods, every time we see Kevin on the screen, is indecisive, is
Yeah.
uncertain. It's like cowering in amongst itself. The fact that he was at that table and there was no moment of privacy between him and Kia to have a
Yeah.
conversation, I thought, yeah, because he's not going to know what to say, or he's going to ramble forever.
Yeah.
And you can tell by Kia's face, she's already checked out. Like, she's like, who? Oh, that's Kevin. Hey, bruh.
Yeah.
Keep it pushing. And that's
And
when he was like,
and
Kia's so great. And she's like, and like, she'll always be someone that I will whatever admire. And she's like, oh yeah, for certain. Period.
yeah.
Yes, correct.
Right. That's true. Yeah, like, and as they said on What's the Reality, if you guys haven't watched the podcast episode where they join Amber, because
You
Amber
saw
always
it. I
gets the
sent it
black
to
girl
you.
on it. Yeah, I saw it. I listened to it. That it's a lot more. They didn't even invite Tyler to that.
Oh
So
yes.
they didn't invite Tyler at all to that event, because they're like,
Oh, to
Amber
the event.
asked,
Okay, as far as I
yeah,
meant the pod.
Amber asked Tyler why she didn't go to
They did not
the
invite
group
her.
event, and she's like, I didn't get invited.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, oh, they didn't invite her?
Probably because she left, and maybe to them they're like, well, that's it.
Yeah.
You're off. Like, that's it. For there's no perk to this anymore.
Yeah, she kept trying to leave, and they kept trying to beg her to come back, and then finally they're just like, let
That's
her go.
true. They were probably like, girl, whatever.
Yeah. You're not here for this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just was like, why is everybody surrounding Kevin and asking him hard-hitting questions? He shouldn't have been on this show. This was a miscasting.
Yeah.
And like, at the point of this, like, I don't think that he's nefarious. I don't think that he meant to do anything. He is just not ready for marriage or
Mature.
to be in a relationship at all. He's just
Yeah.
the wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah.
He's
got a lot of work left to do.
Can we move on to Brie and Connor now?
Let's do it.
So we go to Brie and Connor, and they talk about her conversation. This is afterwards, so everyone's home. They talk about her conversations with Fusco. Everyone keeps calling him Fusco instead of Chris.
Yeah.
And which must be his last name. So she does not say all the things that were said, though. She does not talk about the fact that Chris is talking shit about Connor. Chris says that Connor ain't shit. Connor don't have a good Schwab 401k. Connor's just a little sub boy who wants to be told what to do. Connor is never going to make any real money in his life. Like, Connor and so she says, she brings up the like whole Connor and Chris made a like deal about who was going to take who, and Connor's like, no, it was never that. Like, I was always going to be with you. And she also brought up, I don't know, something else, but it wasn't the real crux of that conversation, which was, again, shady in my eyes. I think her first thing should have been like, you don't need to be talking to Chris no more. That's not your homeboy. We're not going to talk to him anymore.
Yeah.
Then
but I
he
don't think
DMs her.
She hasn't even set that boundary up for herself, though. Because why is he still having access to DM her and message her? That should have been dubbed way before the second he sent the first one. She has left the doors open for that.
Yeah. He DMs her that night, Chris does, and she shows it to Connor. And he's like, "You want me to answer?" And she's like, "No." And he's like, "Well, just so you know, it brings up some insecurities of mine." Like, because he's consistently insecure about his,
Yeah.
I think, goals,
Access to her.
finances, access to her, and a lot of other girls. Like, I think that he just doesn't feel good as a man
Yeah.
to a certain extent, which is why he's like, "I sell trash cans." Like, he
Yeah.
just wants to come out and say that he is,
Self-deprecating. He'd
yeah,
rather get
and he
out in front
doesn't,
of it before someone
yeah,
else can point it out. Yeah.
doesn't feel worthy, feel like he says that he's blue collar when he's low key not. He's
Mhm.
middle management for sure.
Mhm.
And will probably, that's the highest he's ever gonna get, but like he's upset with that or something. But the thing is though, he's content with it at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it's the comparison game, right? Like, he's
Yeah.
looking at what others have or have achieved at certain stages, at certain ages, and maybe he's feeling like he's not where he wants to be. But to your point, he's also like, "But I like my life." So it's
Yeah.
really like, lean into who you are, babe. You're
Yeah.
fine. Because I don't have any issues with Connor this season. Truly
Yeah.
don't. I feel like he's handled everything well. I think even when he does have issues, he raises it appropriately. I think he hasn't asked anything of Bree that's been far-fetched. I think he could have asked Bree to do more in terms
Hmm.
of like, "Hey, shut that down. Hey, this is bothering me," like that kind of stuff. We didn't see him really voice any of that.
Yeah.
So I feel like she lucked out getting somebody like him, but also she's taking advantage of him.
Yeah. And we're gonna talk a little bit more about that next episode. So we have Vic and Christine. They go and they pick out the flowers for the bouquet, and it's all very sweet and lovely and boring. Then we go on to Mike and Emma and their wedding planning, and she's asking Mike what colors he wants,
Mhm.
and he's like,
Ugh,
"I've literally never thought of this." And I'm
I
like, "But
hated
you've
this
thought of
scene.
kids,
I
you've thought of like of a woman having your children, but you've never thought of any colors for an event." This is me, like, no, I'm not
Yeah.
marrying you then. Like, we're just gonna go with black and white.
Yeah,
If you don't have an opinion, I don't have an opinion.
anytime I think we've talked about this. Whenever I hear stories of people planning weddings and men being like, just do whatever you want, pick what you want, and not wanting to be involved in any aspect of the details, to me that's a red flag.
Yeah, it
Like,
is.
I'm like, what do you mean? This is supposed to be the culmination of our, like, a big celebration of how we got to this point, and you don't want any involvement, you don't have an opinion at all, you don't care about what this day becomes.
Yeah.
Wrong answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
hated this
it's
scene.
it's so funny because it makes me think of like, what did my brother do? Because he's definitely that person of like, blue?
Yeah.
And I would get so mad at him because I'm like, pick. He's like, Wahima, please, I can't. Just do it, please. Okay, I can't. This is not me, please, please. And he'll have to beg me to like
Damn.
to like
Yeah.
let him off the hook for stuff like this. And I'm like, okay, but just so you know,
Yeah.
I want you
Yeah.
to have an opinion. I really don't care. And
I
I'm
would
like,
see my brother's the opposite. My brother's like, "Thanks for asking, I brought a lookbook." This is what I'm thinking. To be fair, my brother's in event planning, so, like, even,
yeah,
for a wedding, he'll be like, "The lighting has to be here, and the sound, if it comes from here, it's too loud, and da da da," 'cause that's just, like, his profession.
yeah,
But when it came down to his wedding, like, I remember the second I walked in, me being like, "Oh, this has got my brother's name all over it." Like, I could see the aesthetically, but again, I think that's just who you are innately, and for some men, you gotta dig deep to pull that shit out.
yeah. I mean, I think you would have to dig deep for me too, because if somebody were to ask me right now what the colors are for my wedding, I'd be
Oh,
like,
yeah, but I'm saying if you knew that you were planning towards something,
oh
when the
yeah,
time came, I'm sure you would. Yeah,
yeah,
I can barely think of what I'm gonna eat in the next 5 minutes, like,
yeah.
who has
I'm
the
like,
time?
gold. Can there be gold? I like
Yeah,
gold.
a little
Like,
mustard.
yeah. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyways, so she's like, well, I like deep forest green, and they go from there, florals and whatnot. Then we go to Brittany's house, and we see her lash room and her living room,
Mhm.
and we find out that her total bills for the month, all
It's
in,
eighteen
is
$1,800.
$1,800.
That's not even my rent.
What is my life? That's not even my rent either, and that's cheap for me.
That yeah.
So I'm like, "Oh, do I need to move to Cleveland, Ohio, where there's
No,
black
girl.
men who don't know they're black, in order to have $1,800 in order to have, like, an extra, like, just
Go ahead
Wow.
and let me know how that goes because I would have to live through you, sister, because absolutely not. But I will say this, the second she said that, I did sit up a little bit like,
A
damn, girl,
whole
okay.
house?
Plus, she's got 2 jobs. She's got that lash stuff, but she's, I think, a labor and delivery nurse.
Well, that's what I thought too, but I didn't she didn't talk she hasn't talked about it since the beginning.
Hasn't talked about it, but this is, I think, is her side thing.
Girl, she must be just saving so much
That's what I
money.
mean. Like, she's got, and does she live, is she still in her house? Like, is that her parents' house?
No, that's her house.
Oh, that's her house.
Yeah.
Oh, because she did say her mortgage. She said her
Yeah.
mortgage was like
12,
1,200,
15.
which I was like, "Oh my gosh, I haven't paid that since, like, 1983." And then she said in total with
1,800
everything,
all in.
1,800 all
And he
in.
says that his all in was
Yes, she t
5,200.
I was like, "Okay, now you're speaking a little bit."
Yeah.
Mine's
And
not
then
that high, but still.
they're gonna move into her house.
Yeah, when she said that, she's like, "This is gonna be our house." I was like, which is why I think it was this episode when, is it the episode where they speak about prenups?
No, it's next episode.
Ah, okay, well, then we can wait to get to that, but,
Okay.
um, yeah, just a lot that this conversation, um, a lot of information that came out of this conversation, I carried over to this next episode,
Yeah.
and I was like,
Yeah, to me, listen, when we get there, it speaks to your maturity and
yes,
your maturity, your understanding of reality and not a fairy tale. Like, okay, we'll get there.
yes.
So, Bree and Connor go to see her family, and they don't take the cameras with them. It's just a bunch of pictures and
Mhm.
like selfie cameras, and it get along well. He doesn't have to talk about Charles Schwab with the dad in order for the dad to be a part of it. And from the pictures looks fun and very upper middle class,
Mhm.
upper peninsula, whatever. So I put the guys know about Chris and his antics.
Oh, yes.
And they're like, yeah, we created something special here, and how dare he like do that, and like everyone's like in support of Connor, and Connor standing up for that.
I was waiting to
um
see if Alex was gonna say something in this scene, but the camera was recording from behind him. And every time the angle changed, I was always like, "Where's Alex in this group
Wait,
little
why? because
dynamic?"
because
Because
Alex and
Alex
Chris.
was the one with Chris in the back room, of the event when everyone was there, when Chris was like, "Oh, what's Connor gonna do? Beat me up?" And that Alex was like, "Oh, I know, right? Like, come on, you could
Oh
take
my
him, this, da, da,
god,
da."
that was
That
Alex.
that was
He was in the
Alex. Yeah, so
oh
that's why to me, I was like, those are the 2 pieces of shit in this season. Not all the men are great, but those specifically are 2 liars. So when they had this scene where Connor was
oh
like, "He's dead to me," which is and, like, that's crazy. He was the closest one to me in the pods, and, like, every time the camera moved, because it showed Mike, and Mike said some comments around like, "Yeah, man, that's messed up, like, he's been plotting on your girl," all this stuff. I kept looking to see where Alex was, and Alex the camera was, like, recording the circle,
hmm
like, from behind Alex's perspective, and I was like, "You say something
hmm
so I can."
And also, where was Devontae and Brittany? Like, I don't know. I don't really see them. I felt like, did we only see them as themselves or separately? It's fine
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, I
Um,
didn't see them.
so everyone is doing their tux and their dresses, and this is so boring to me. There's nothing more boring than watching a bunch of people try on clothes that I'm not that are wedding clothes. Like if it's like they're meeting with a fashionista. I found something on TikTok where this guy goes into people's closets and take what they already have and makes fashion out of it, or styles it, and makes outfits out of it. That's interesting. But otherwise, watching people try on wedding dresses, girl, I do not get one darn.
I will say I do like the scenes where the men try on the suits because to me it's so indicative of who they are at their core. 'Cause the
Jordan suit,
second a man puts on a suit, I'm always like, "Look at how you're wearing it." You don't even care that your collar's up on one side, your other's down, you're sloppy. That's
Alex.
sign number 1. Someone else was like again, I know it's not fitted, right? Like, you're getting fitted for it, so it's not to assume that this is supposed to be nice and crisp on them. But, when they look at the shoes and it's all jumbled up and all like, oh, it just drives me insane. And the few men who the camera would pan on, it was exactly who I thought were gonna look sloppy. It was Alex, it was Devontae, I was just like, "Y'all, come on." At least
Yeah,
for the cameras.
yeah. Mike looked good.
Mike looked good,
Um,
yeah. Even Connor. Connor
Connor
looked
looked
really nice
he
with
looked
the black
decent.
tie.
hmm
Yeah.
And I love the fact that Jordan was like, "I'm gonna try on different types of blue, see what happens. See what this looks like." I said, "Okay."
Be you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alex, when they were like, "Hey, Alex, like, how are you feeling?" He's like, "Normal. This is like, I'm fine. I'm confident. I'm a man, and this is just like an every day. Like, this is the way it's supposed to go." I said, "You idiot."
You.
You God. Oh, you don't feel anything? You don't want to be vulnerable at all? Like, you can't say, "I feel really good. Like, this feels positive. I'm excited to try it on." He's like, "Yeah, why would I feel anything? Like, I feel normal because I'm a normal person. This is the normal thing." Like, he's just like so annoying.
He's like a podcast finance bro.
Yeah.
He thinks that he doesn't have to be honest. I think I it's so weird because when I reflect back to the pods, he was one of the people that in my notes says like, "Oh, I think he's being like he's being sweet and authentic. Like I am interested to see more about this guy." And it's like every second that he's been out of the pods, he's just been shittier
Yeah.
and shittier.
Yeah. It's like he's too cool for school.
Mhm.
Okay, so then we end this episode on Amber trying on her first dress. Uh
Mm.
and that's what I wrote down as the end of this episode.
Oh, did you remember when Britney brought her own dress?
Yeah.
I thought of you the whole time I was watching that. I'm
Yeah, and
like,
everyone
"Ugh."
was like, and even I didn't even realize her mom was in on the shenanigans. Her mom was
She
in
bought it
on
for
it.
her.
Yeah, her mom was in on it. That they think that this is them manifesting
A
their
husband.
relationship. Yeah, and the husband. So here at this point, now I realize that Britney is like cultishly religious.
Mhm.
Like sh- uh, in her life, she has not had to face any real adversity, and to where she can lean so much onto religion to the point of like this crazy cultish weird behavior. That's the only way I can think of it.
Mhm.
Is somebody who's like, "I'm manifesting a husband, so I'm gonna buy my wedding dress." And her mom kind of being all in on that. And it's like, "Oh, you were raised this way. Like, someone told you that this
Enabling
was."
this kind of
Yeah.
obscure behavior.
Yes. And like, and she's like, "I've been waiting all my life." And her mom's like, "She's been waiting 32 years." I'm like, 32 to get married is normal. Like, you could even wait a little bit longer if you wanted to. It's not what, because she didn't get married by 26, you guys are thinking that she's late. And so now she thinks she's late. And like, there's this like
Yeah.
rush now for her to manifest marriage and like children and like all of this nonsense.
You can tell she carries a lot of that baggage.
Yeah. And it's so sad.
Yeah. But it's likely obviously not self-imposed, but it comes from her
That's why she
the
wanted to like
structure she
not
grew
have
up in.
sex. And then she's like, "We can
Probably.
have sex if you want to, if that's going to make you feel like."
Yeah. And would you yeah, every time I think about it, Brittany is the one who I feel has not lived up to her full potential as just like
Yeah.
as a person,
As a human.
as a human
Yeah.
being. Like again, career aside and all that other stuff, because again, she's successful, she's a homeowner, all these things, fantastic. But I feel like she'd be somebody who she was my friend. I'd be like, remember who you are. Like, are you? I think there's a bit of dysmorphia here with who you are, what you're capable of, and what you think are your aspirations. And listen, don't get me wrong. There are women out there who aspire to be a wife and mother, and
Mhm.
that is as far as those thoughts go. I just feel like I don't know. Every time I see Brittany, I'm like, really, babe, you?
Yeah.
We've got.
And
I
it's
see so much
like,
more for you.
I do see so much more for her, but also I'm like, then you need to move to an even smaller town. Wherever you are, you need to
Yeah.
scale it back. You can't be in the city. Cuz
But
there's a
also,
50.
but they might not date women of color, the smaller of a
That's
town
true.
she goes. So she's damned if she you know what I mean? I
She
I
needs to
just
go
think
to
she needs
Atlanta.
it's
She needs to go Yeah,
introspection.
she needs to go
Oh my
someplace
god,
where there's
Atlanta,
black, not
girl.
Atlanta. She needs to go someplace where there's small and there's black people.
Yes.
That's why I said
Yeah.
Atlanta. Maybe Alabama. I don't
I was
know.
gonna say Alabama,
Like, she needs to go someplace,
Louisiana or something.
yeah, where she's like,
They
because
would scoop her up in Texas so
I
fast.
mean,
Go to
slurp it up.
Houston, Brent.
Yeah.
Go to Houston. They
Go
gon'
someplace where you are able to kind of have that and have that life, because right now, girl, like, it feels to those of us who don't aspire to that as though you are holding yourself back
Mhm.
in that aspiration. And it's unfortunate. Um it's unfortunate. So now we're on to episode 11, and this episode is called "See Where the Chips Fall."
Mm.
So Ashley and Alex are playing soccer, um, and then that's supposed to,
Mhm.
like, I don't know,
It was like
Connor
10
and
seconds of a
yeah,
scene.
of a scene. Connor and Bree go on a train ride, so it's like a dinner train ride, and
Very
this
cute.
is so cute. This is the first place that we start to see the cracks in Bree. And I don't even think we realize it's a crack in her, but she's like, "You love me," and she's mildly like taken aback by it.
She's puzzled by it. Yeah, truly.
Yeah, she's like, "This isn't even a good version of me. Like I'm." And we haven't. I don't know what I don't know what the good version of her looks like. I don't. We haven't seen her go off on him. We haven't seen her be rude to him. They haven't had enough camera time
Yeah.
alone in the apartment for us to be able to kind of discern what she's talking about. But she's like, "This is not the best of me. Like, when we went to see my dad, like, that was great or whatever, and the family was really receptive to you, but like, you really love me, and that's like crazy." She kept saying, "You really love me."
It's so weird because I feel like when, it's like she wants an out, but
Yeah,
she wants him to find it on his own. And she's so surprised that her being regular degular herself is enough for him.
yeah.
And I mean, she's got a lot of self work to do. I kind of
Oh, so
figured the
much.
direction she was going in just because her TikTok page came up on my feed randomly yesterday. And it was
Oh,
her kind of talking about, I think I may have sent it to you. She was like recapping episodes 5 and 6. And just from like hearing her talk, I was like, you're still single. I can't prove
uh-huh.
it. But there's something about you that is telling me that you are still on your own journey. I don't know. I think she just doubts that anyone would care about her in a meaningful way, and I think she's gotta unpack that.
Yeah. There's no one more desperate than a successful hetero woman in their 30s who've been told their whole life that they're expected to marry and be mothers. Woo! Come on, Brittany. Ooh, hoo, hoo,
Absolutely.
hoo, hoo. Yeah, it is.
And the
It is very.
desperation, like, is seeping through their pores, like,
Yeah,
everyone can smell that shit.
yeah. I feel so bad. It's like, once you just let go of this like feverish desire for that life, like, yeah, some women it does happen.
Mhm.
You meet your guy in college, you get married out of college, then you have your kids. Yeah, that does happen, but it's not as common as I think women think that it is or should be. And then when it doesn't happen, they're all very fucking confused. And listen, I was confused too. But like,
Mhm.
at some point, once you let go of that demon, get that off your back, that you will have much more fulfilling life.
Yes.
um and you'll have fun, and you'll maybe find that person out there being your most authentic self, not the desperation.
Mhm.
So it's just really crazy to watch. She's like, "You bring me flowers every day, like, you just do all these things to show me that you really love me, and I'm so confused by it because I'm so shitty to you most of the time, and you just like accept it, and so like I just don't know what to do."
I think she's been in her head ever since.
Chris?
And maybe even beforehand. Yeah, ever since Chris said that, like, he's submissive, you need someone who's gonna lead you and do this and that. I think a part of her brain was like, "Well, yeah, I like to be led. I don't wanna, like, make every decision." But
Yeah,
we see in their later scenes in this episode
yeah,
where she really starts to it was hard for me to follow what she was saying at first because I was like, "Are you drilling into this man?" Anyway, I say this to say that, like, she I think she's marinating in the opinions of others.
yeah,
And she's letting it, allow her to spiral.
yeah, 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 yeah. I think you're right. So, Emma is now starting to think of kids. This is all I wrote down. Don't really remember what happened there. So then we move on to Devante and Brittany, and
Ugh,
they are talking on the couch. And this is so disgusting. So they're talking on the couch, and he then tells her that he's like, "I heard that you were at the group party telling people that again I don't tell you you're pretty." And that pissed me off. And I don't remember what her response was, because what else could she say besides like, "You don't tell me I'm pretty."
well, she was
Um,
basically saying how that what she was communicating to the girls was that there are certain things that she wants in a relationship, but that she's arrived at the place where she knows that Devante does not. do those things, and she's arrived at the acceptance of the fact that he is not that way. So that seemed to disarm him a little bit because he was like, "Oh, okay." And she was like, "Yeah, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm saying that throughout this time together, I've realized that there are certain, like, you are, there are certain ways that you are, and there's certain ways that you aren't. And I accept you for who you are. I understand that that's how you operate, and I have arrived in a comfortable space with that.
You know what it's like?
Whether
It's
she means that or
like,
not is another story."
yeah. One, who is the person who ran back and told him that? Two,
Right.
it sounds like to me it's the it sounds like what it is that she's accepting that her partner doesn't want to celebrate Valentine's Day, because what it is, there's a contingency of men who either don't have the money or don't yeah, don't, it's mainly don't have the money, because I think there's really no other reason why you wouldn't do it. But like, either don't have the money or don't feel like they are a romantic person, so they don't want to celebrate Valentine's Day. And there are just women in this world who probably have partners and who want to celebrate it more than just like Walgreens chocolate and like maybe, a movie night. There are women who really want to be swept off their feet during Valentine's Day. And you just have to accept that your partner's not going to do that for you. And so you just move on with your life. And
Yeah.
I think that is a very small town mentality to have. Yeah, you can give up on certain things you want when you live in a place where there's a finite group of men, and that, hey, this is just what I got. Because I don't know that men do men feel like they compromise with their spouses in the way that I feel like women feel like they should have to compromise?
Probably
That's what
not.
I want to know.
I doubt it. Women tend to make themselves feel smaller in relationships. So they'll be willing to, like, relinquish the idea of a lot of things to keep the peace, to not be seen as nagging.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think there's a lot of accommodating that women do.
Yeah. I mean, and I know that there are men who do accommodating too, but I
Mhm.
want to know if that the rate is the same.
No, definitely not.
So, Devante ends up telling her that, he's done a lot in his life and that he wants to make sure that he's protected. And she gets offended because people, I don't know how else to say this, people with a limited worldview, or people who are deeply religious and superstitious and believe in fairy tales, they are the ones who are against prenups.
Mhm.
A prenup, especially in this weird ass situation, this specific situation, where you don't know a lot about a person and you're expected to marry them in 6 weeks, is a smart ass thing to do.
Mhm.
Because if they don't last, he then has stake in her home. So not having a prenup puts you in a position of having to really work at something that's not working, that is not good for you, is not healthy for you, because you don't want to have to figure out how to divvy up your assets afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, and he says something, he's like, people think that they're one way, but then when opportunity comes about,
They're spiteful.
they're
Yeah, they can become
spiteful.
spiteful. I don't wanna say that I was caught off guard with her reaction because we've seen this prenup conversation come up in the Love Is Blind series. And I feel like I'm always so surprised at people who react the way that she reacted. I'm always so surprised. And again, listen, I work in the legal field, so I feel like, to me, I'm always like, yeah, that's default. Absolutely.
Hmm.
That's just a precaution. I don't see us, my goal is not divorce, but absolutely, let's lean into that. Cool. Not an issue. Move on.
Hmm.
Just like a tick box.
Hmm.
You're right that it tends to be people who have this illusion or a deep religious belief that says that if you pursue a prenup, it's because you are ultimately speaking out into the universe that the demise of your relationship,
Or looking for a way
a
out,
way out.
or
Yeah, it's just, I just feel like it's so silly.
it's so silly. It's so silly. It is just like, oh, because you have not witnessed or watched or whatever people go
Yeah,
through nasty divorces, or you
that's
don't
real
have any,
life.
or you don't have anything worth losing.
Yeah,
Like
she's a
like
homeowner. If I'm her,
which is
I'm
crazy.
like,
She does have something worth losing.
and businesses, like, babe, you should have brought this up.
Yeah. We
Actually,
don't even know what he does. He talks about he makes anywhere from 12K to 40K a month.
he's in
Doing what?
sales. That's as most as we know, depending on how he meets his targets.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I mean. It could fluctuate. But even then, he might be making that kind of money, but it's clear he doesn't have assets if he'd be living in her house,
Exactly.
unless it's
Also,
like
this
a car or something that's paid
yeah,
off.
this idea of like if they were to get married and be married for 5 years, that he would somehow owe her like, or a
Mhm.
year, he would owe her alimony, or he would
Yeah.
owe her like it's just she's like, you think I would come after you? Well, I don't know. That's why I'm doing this.
That's why
And
we
I'm
need
just letting
this,
yeah,
right.
that's why we need this because you don't know how you would feel. What if I cheat on you? And then you try to go back. Like,
Yeah.
there's just things that could happen. It's just so
Yeah.
crazy to me that somebody wouldn't protect themselves or at least give their partner the peace of mind that they truly wouldn't come after them
Right.
for anything by just signing it. Now, what I would do is if I really felt some kind of way, I'd be like, okay, if we're together for 5 years and you end up making X amount of money or more and I am not working or I'm used to whatever, and you cheat on me, then you owe me.
Yeah.
Like, we're
And
gonna add
again,
clauses in it.
prenups are negotiable. That's what people really
Yes.
forget. They are negotiable. You can include as much as you want, you can remove as much as you want, you can be as detailed as you want, but use
Yeah.
it to your advantage.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna sign it, but there's gonna be negotiations, especially
Absolutely.
for infidelity.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Run me my coin.
You're not about to play in my face.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
you're not feeling it anymore, you need to break up with me, and then you can run around and do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Um, or if you tell me not to work, that it's okay, babe, you don't have to work, and I haven't been working for 5 years. Oh,
Mhm.
you're gonna have to pay
Back pay.
alimony. Yeah, because
Yeah, with interest.
yeah, because I'm not gonna be able to just get a job,
Right,
nor am
right,
I gonna
right.
want to. So
Not with this
like,
gap on my resume, yeah. Yeah.
exactly 5 year gap. What was you doing? I was being a wife. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, so then she's like, let's pray. And they do a prayer in which she thanks God for Devante, and Devante does not thank God for her. And I want to know how many times has she done this prayer? Has she initiated a prayer and say, thank God for Devante? And he's just said shit all about her.
I don't know that he's a religious man. I think he leans into this experience, but one of the things that I wrote down because of this scene, and this happens all of the time whenever they're in the same room. If you look at all their scenes together, she's leaning in and he's leaning back. In the hot tub, in everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. Not even in the pods. In the pods, he was leaning in. Once he saw her, he hasn't leaned in once. Not once on the in this episode alone, they were on the couch. Even in the prayer, there was a point where she I want to say they did like a handhold or it was like a forehead to hand in the moment and he couldn't have been further away. It was just his body language is so disinterested. I'm waiting for him to come off my screen. He upsets me as much as I hate Chris in this series. I feel like Devante is so infuriating because he's a coward.
Mm.
And I want him to just say what he wants to say. But he's gonna go up there in front of everybody's family and embarrass that girl. And she will have
Yeah,
it coming. And I'll
yeah,
be like, you see, por estúpida, because she should have left too.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know she will. She will have a kind of coming. And her mother, I can't believe her mother played into that. I thought she brought that on her dress on her own and she was just like hiding it in the back of her closet. No. And then the dress that they had her next to, remember there's like a moment where she tries on a dress, but then there's a dress that's next to her before she tries on the dress that's like fluffy and like poofy. I thought that was gonna be it. And I was like, girl, you spent too much money on a dress but it didn't end up being it.
And
Anyways,
she's gonna wear it, which means
yeah,
what? You're not gonna wear it again.
yeah. She's wasting that dress. When they were gonna
I'll
buy
mess with
her a
his
dress,
budget. Right.
that's what I'm just like, girl, you crazy.
Listen, she's slacking on her macking. I
Yeah.
don't know.
So then move on to Alex and Ashley, and they talk about setting up roots. Now, Alex and Ashley are in a space that I'm like, where is that? Because that wants to be where I live.
That cute little cabin.
That cute little cabin in front of that fireplace
He
on
knew
that
he know
furry ass.
listen, he knows his audience. He's like, listen, this girl like to fuck. So I'm gonna put some candles on the floor
Girl.
with a little rug and she gonna like it. And of course she was like, oh, I love it. Perfect, romantic. I was like, yeah, she's gonna eat that up.
Yeah, I would eat that up by myself with a
Yeah.
good book.
Right. Just a little nook, a
With
little
my
DoorDash.
yeah.
What else do we
Ooh.
need? Oh, an iPad to watch reruns of your favorite
Yes.
shows. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. It would have been perfect for me. I was like, where is that? I require that space immediately. How do I create that in my apartment?
Yeah.
What do I need to get? What kind
Yeah,
of
a little
couch do
nook.
I need? A little nook? Like, how do I, I'm like over here really considering it. Like,
Yeah.
okay. Anyways. So they talk about setting roots, and she's like, I know you don't like the word roots, and he's like, no, I want a place that has roots. And then he's like, listen, everything goes back to soccer. The reason why that I don't really think about the future in that way is because it's like when you play soccer, you never know what's going to happen. You just like go with the flow and go with the plays as they happen. And blah 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 blah. And she's like, I can't. I have to admit to you, I'm very terrified and scared about this. And he's just like, well, it's normal. I'm cool. I'm a man. I figured it out. Like, don't worry, you can come with me. And I'm just like, that's why I didn't work with this travel nurse, because she's like, we can't. I travel, but you do too much.
Her life is gonna fall apart.
Yeah.
I can't wait till March 4th. Is that next week?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Next
because
Wednesday. She
I
better
think
say no.
I think she is another desperate Debbie, and I think she says yes, but I think he goes first and he says no.
Oh. Okay, let's do our predictions at the end of
Okay,
this.
yeah. Okay.
So then we move on to Bree and Connor, and she's in the apartment, and I'm like, why is she wearing like a Miranda Priestley like fake blazer cape? What's happening?
Yeah. This is a weird scene because just in the first few seconds of what she's saying to him, it makes it seem like so much time has passed. I don't know if you caught kind of some of what she said when she was like, my family's been saying that I'm not in a good headspace, or that this is not you're not getting the best version of me. And to me, I'm like, what, how much time has passed between the last scene of the two of you to this
Yeah.
one? Because they only have a finite window to get married. We already know the last episode, they were like 2 days till the wedding, or like
Yeah.
3 days, whatever. So I'm like, huh? Because your mom was at the dress
Yeah.
fitting.
Yeah.
I
Who
I I,
knows?
I got disoriented with time in this scene.
It also feels like none of them are actually living in this space. Like it feels like they're all just
Home and
home.
stopping by.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just very interesting. Like they shoot scenes of them living there, of them cooking there and doing whatever, but it's like they're
That's
not
it.
all cohabitating and taking care of the space and cleaning and doing whatever. It felt like the last season that was really doing that was like Amber and Clay's season. I don't remember what season that was, like maybe two
Yes.
or three seasons ago.
That was season 5.
Amber was season 5?
AD?
Yeah.
Season 5. Yeah, because I saw the pod with the other 2 girls, and I had, like, looked
Wow.
up when she said season 5. I was like, "Wow, that long ago?"
Wow, yeah, that long ago. Huh.
Yeah.
Um Wow. Yeah, it seems like the last time they've actually lived in the space. It seems like since
Yeah.
then they've all just kind of opted out of like, yeah, we'll come here and we'll film, but like during our day to day, like with our work and stuff, we can't really move here.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so anyways, she's going around in circles, like talking about how much he loves her and she's not the best version of herself, and that, you know, she does bring up some really good points in about
Okay.
Connor. To me, the really good points that she brings up is looking at his home and thinking that he just doesn't give a fuck, and that he's just waiting for some woman or some person to just kind of like clean up his situation.
Mm.
And that if it was just left up to him, he wouldn't have any pride in anything. And like that he just shows up and he's like, this is just me. Like, and I'm like, you know what? That is something that is taught.
Mhm.
Like that is something that you can blame him for it, but I think that like you need to be taught to show up and to have a home that's welcoming and presentable. Um
Yeah.
his mother did not teach him
His
that is what was, or
parents.
parents, yeah, did not teach him that is what was necessary. Whatever the, expectation was, like I because I grew up in a home where people came and hung out, and like I want to make it comfortable for them, and because I also grew up in a home where one of my parents didn't make it comfortable for us to live there.
Mhm.
Both me, all of my siblings are very much like, if you come to our home, we want you to kick back on the most comfortable couch. There's nothing in this house that's breakable. There's no space in this house that you can't sit in, or
Yeah.
that's like showroom bullshit. Like, chill. Come here and fucking chill. Go in the cabinet, get every single snack out you want. Like
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
the way that me and my brother have taken kind of the way we were raised a little bit, and like made it times 10. And so like whenever I have anybody to my apartment, I'm going to make sure that it's the best version of my apartment
Yeah.
possible. You're not going to come in and see dirt. or be like, oh, I'm so sorry, my cat,
Yeah.
like, no, my cat's gonna be away, his hair is gonna be out of sight. Like, it, I'm gonna make the space very comfortable for my guests because I want them to be that. And so when she brought that up and said that to him, I said, that is facts. And that's something that you can't teach a grown-ass man in their 30s. Like, you are constantly going to be fighting him to keep a certain level of presentation, or
Yeah.
if you do choose to have the parties, that
Oh,
you're gonna
right.
have to fight him to make sure that he understands that the furniture outside needs to be hosed down and clean. That he's
Yeah.
gonna have to make the run to Costco, and that it's a group effort to make sure that we have a presentable, spacious, comfortable home. And because he feels like he doesn't have any ambition, is she gonna be the one to have to work hard to make sure they have the space for all of that?
Yeah, I feel like I hate to side with a man. I truly do. I do feel that she came too hard in this conversation. I'm with you on the fact that there were some things that I was like, yeah, I can understand the concerns around that. Um, However, I feel like Bree has been playful about everything up to this point, and I feel like she has not always necessarily come out and expressed her sentiments around those things in a direct way. And I think this is the first time that she's being direct about it. That's not to say that she's wrong in sharing it, but I think it's something that I just feel like she could have delivered differently, because a part of me feels like she's just reaching for that. I don't think she I don't think that's the reason why she's saying no.
Mm.
I think she's adding it to the pile, but I don't think that's the driver. I think if Brie had to ask herself if she could live with that and move forward with it, I think she'd be like, "Oh yeah, whatever." But
Oh.
I think it's just the pile of stuff that she's inflating in her head as to why she doesn't want to pursue Connor. Because even if she was like, we're not going to get married, but let's keep dating," like it seems like he was willing to do that. I don't think that's what's happened.
Oh. Okay.
You know?
I think though it's because she would not be able to teach an old dog new tricks.
Well,
I
yeah, I
think
mean, I agree with you're not she shouldn't have to.
I think that, like, as much I hear what you're saying, but I think that the practicalness of how we're going to get on in the same space is so important. Like, when I think about, like, possibly putting myself in a marriage situation with somebody who I know I'm going to have to either constantly remind to pick up
Mm,
their stuff, like, weaponized incompetence is what's going to happen, and it's going to drive me crazy.
yeah.
And everyone's going to be like, you just have to accept Connor for who he is. And then I'm going to be like, oh, then that's the crux, is that I cannot accept that. And
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
may seem like a lot, but these are the things that I have within myself. And so it's not a lot. Like,
Yeah.
there's some, like, I think this happens in any kind of relationship, friendship, dating or whatever. Like, I think there's this idea, like, at least for me, in the way that I move, is that sometimes I think people around me think that I put too much on other people, and I'm like, maybe I do, but I put this on myself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm not so for me it doesn't feel like it's too much on you. It feels like that is what it should be. Now, do I sometimes alter what I do with myself? Like, right now, my apartment is not nearly what I want it to be. But I have to give myself grace because I know myself, and I know that, like, I need 2 weeks to put it together. I need 2
Yeah.
weeks of uninterrupted no work
Yeah.
to get this shit together. 2 weeks and $2,000. And then
Yeah.
it'll be where it needs to be.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
until I can get that, it's not going to go, and I need to just, like, give myself some grace when it comes to that.
Yeah.
However, I'm also not trying to move anybody into this space and tell them to just deal with it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so that is kind of like where I think how I think of stuff. And so people will be like, "Oh, that's nitpicking, like, if you really love them." I'm like, "No, if to me, if you're compatible with somebody, then the way you live in your home is going to be compatible. The way you
Mhm.
think about the world and politics is going to be compatible. Maybe you don't like the same foods. Fine. There's things that I can give an inch or two on. Um, and there are things that maybe I enjoy doing that I know you're never going to do, but it's okay because I enjoy it. So I got it. But I think she let this go a lot further than what she
Mhm.
needed to go, where
Mhm.
she wanted. And I think there were some things that Chris said that rang true,
Mhm.
that she wanted, that he didn't give her, that Connor wouldn't give her. And I think that as she grows as a woman, she's gonna realize that like maybe some of those things that she found not cute in Connor, especially with the finances portion of it,
Mhm.
that she'd be willing to kind of settle with and deal with later on, once she realized that that's not necessarily the things that are important for her.
Yeah.
Like, because there are certain things that I'm willing to give on. Cleanliness is not one of them.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
like
yeah,
there's other things that I'm willing to give on, like with a partner. If
yeah,
they're overwhelmingly something else that I really need in my life, but there's not
yeah.
so much this, then it's
You
okay. But that
can't,
takes a
yeah,
while of you knowing yourself what it
yeah.
is that you want.
I also I can't remember if this was said in the pods, but is this Connor's first relationship?
Oh, I don't know.
Part of me feels like it is, because he had mentioned a lot around, like, things not working out or women not liking him and things like that. So I
Mm,
could see that playing into not an excuse, but more of just, like, an understanding as to why he doesn't know how to exist as an adult in a way that would be conducive to a partner or a woman or something like that. Again, not an excuse. Um, but I also feel like I don't know, I think she did him a favor. Like, "Connor, listen, if that's the worst you've got going on, bro, all you need is a couple YouTube things, someone to, you know, turn on TikToks and see how people decorate their homes and how you wanna elevate a little bit, and you're maybe, like, 2 to 3 years away from being the man that you wanna be." You know what I mean? But I'm saying oftentimes for men, it's like, if you just got off your ass, you'd be fine.
yeah,
Like, that really is what it is, especially for the ones who are not garbage pieces of shit.
yeah,
And I feel like in terms of as a person, I haven't seen any red flags from Connor,
yeah,
that would be glaring or make people run. Like, I think he got a good at it. I think he put his best foot forward. Yeah, he had a keg outside his house. Sure, but he's also a single guy living alone. I get
yeah,
that. Maybe your house was the party house because maybe all your friends aren't homeowners. Maybe they live in
yeah,
apartments where they can't have parties, but you can. I
yeah,
get shit like that. And I can't remember how old he is, but, like, you tell me he's in his 20s, at least, or before or younger than 26, yeah, that keg checks out.
yeah. And I guess I just think that like maybe in those moments, because of his reactions, being like, "I was just waiting for you to come and take down the Christmas tree.
That
I was
didn't
just
help.
waiting for you."
He didn't
Like
do
she
himself
was
any
just,
favors with that.
yeah, and it was just too lackadaisical with
Yeah,
that like sort of mindset.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. And I would say women, we hate that. We
yeah,
hate that. We hate again, same thing with Kevin. We hate indecisiveness. We hate just, like, flippant whatever. We hate nonchalant. We hate if you can't stand firmly, women don't like that.
yeah, yeah.
So,
So they end up breaking up and he's crying and she's like, whatever. We move on to Emma and Mike, and this is their wedding. And Mike's mother comes into her space and like wants to do reconnaissance to see how Emma's feeling. And Emma's like, you know, emotional, and everybody's emotional around the whole thing. And Mike's mom goes out to talk to Mike and is like, "Hey, how are you doing? Because the last couple times I talked to you, you had an attitude. So like," he's like, I'm better now. So it looks like the last couple of days up until this, there was a lot going on, but with both Emma and Mike.
yeah.
Um,
Which I can tell that, like, based off who his parents are, he's been suppressing a lot of energy. A lot of
mhm.
that loud, boisterous Italian, like, 'cause I don't know where his family's from, but they're not from Ohio. They've gotta be some New Jersey Italians or New York Italians. I don't know
that
where
that
they're from.
moved.
Yeah, yeah, 100%, because I mean, the mom being like, "Oh, the last couple days you've been giving me an attitude," and him being like, "Yeah, you call it the worst times, ma." Like, that's like like, Everybody Loves Raymond. That's like
Yeah.
that's the dynamic where it's like, "Ma, you're doing too much, get off my back. Oh my god." But I haven't seen that energy from Mike outside of his family, but,
Mm,
like,
mm.
that exists, that lives within
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm
Yeah.
like to a part of me, that made me squint at Mike and be like, "Who are you really? Ray Romano, like, who are
Yeah.
you?" Yeah.
So yeah, his father comes out, he's like, yeah, mommy and I just want to make sure that you're, I love when I think like,
Yeah.
mommy and I were together for 5 years before, blah, blah, blah. And I think it's so funny that like, there are parents who like, now when they see that they know Love is Blind is a thing, they go and watch it. And there's parents who still don't. And you can tell his parents are the ones that still don't, because everyone thinks that this is, to me, it's not serious. It's not serious.
The
Like,
show or
yeah,
the
the whole premise of it,
relationship?
the relationship, the whole thing is not serious
Yeah.
to me. Like, so if my parents were to be mad at me because I was doing this, I would be like, why? Because you think I'm going to be struck down? You think that nothing is undoable? What does it like? So what does it matter? Like, there are people who go get married, shotgun weddings.
Bringing shame to your family.
Yeah, it's
That's
like,
what it is. So it's always the external
yeah, I'm like, it's just a
repercussions of a show like
show. If
this,
it
but
doesn't work,
yeah, I think for the most part, like, your family's probably similar to mine in that they'd be like, "No, I know you'll be fine,
yeah,
but what are people gonna say?" And I'm like, "Fuck those people. I don't know
yeah.
shit. I don't know those
I'd be
people."
like, what do you mean what they're
Yeah,
gonna say?
yeah.
And like, they'd be like, well, we have to invite this person. This is not
Oh,
real. This is
right.
not
You're
real.
like, "I literally have 3.5 seats.
Yeah, this is not
That's all."
real. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, we're gonna get really married, and then maybe we can have a party afterwards where we invite everybody in the family once I realize I actually want to be at this person. But
Yes.
right now, this is a dumb show.
It's a
Like,
cocktail reception hosted by
what do you
Netflix. Just come
yeah,
on.
just come on.
Yeah.
Like, the way they're acting is like, oh my God, it's then the Lord's gonna strike you down afterwards if this is I'm like, how many people get married and do big ass
Yeah.
weddings and divorce a year later
Right.
and you're
And
fine with that?
and if you do it on Netflix, you can just get an annulment and be like, "It wasn't real. It was Netflix. Hello. It's
Exactly.
reality
So
TV. It's not a real
crazy.
thing." Yeah.
It's so crazy. But anyway, so his mom, mom and dad are just like, they thought this was a crazy thing, but Emma's a good girl. And like, we trust your opinion. We trust your judgment. And again, this whole idea, you didn't even have to pay for this wedding. And you're over here like, we trust your judgment. Like, yes, does it matter who that man brings into their home, into their nucleus, into their family? Yes.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if Emma turns out to be rotted, then it's just like, Mike, go on about yourself. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but again, this energy that we're getting are from the families who are saying, like, "We don't believe in divorce." Well, if you
Yeah.
did, you wouldn't put so much weight on a day like today, where you
Yes.
could just go down
Yes.
to the courthouse, hop, skip, and a jump, get this bitch annulled, and move on with
Yeah.
your life, right? But you're
Yeah.
holding your family's legacy
Yes.
in
On
this
this.
moment. No, too
Yes.
much.
Yeah. It's so
When like, what,
funny.
add divorce. It's in the dictionary.
Yeah.
Add it to your life. Who cares?
Exactly. Oh my God. Thank you so much. Cause I'm like, if my parents were to even be like, well, I'd be like, girl, guys, I could just get a divorce.
I know my parents will never say that because they are divorced. So I'll be like, "We safe here."
I don't
Yeah,
know what my parents would say, but I feel like my dad would be like, yeah, that's true.
exactly. Right.
Yeah.
That's
Oh yeah,
fair.
that's awesome.
Valid. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, Mike gets on the stage, the podium at the altar, and he's like, I just need to know about if you want these kids or not. And I'm like, I don't know what I was doing, but I stopped what I was doing and I was like, Mike, did
This
he
scene was
just
weird to me because I
yes.
thought I thought they got to the party stuff before even like the I do's. Because
I don't
like before they even got to the I do bits, I thought it was a no. Because based
yes.
off how he was talking, I was like, "Oh, okay, so they're agreeing this is over because of the kids thing. Okay, fair." And then I was like, oh, "Wait, why is the officiant still asking?"
Yes. Did he
Hold on.
say yes or no? Because the officiant's like, Mike,
That
what do you say? And then it
that's
cuts to her.
where um well, we got her answer already.
Yes.
And then
No,
it
but
turned yeah, well, no, they asked her and she said
yes.
correct. And then they went to Mike and that's when the cliffhanger is.
Right. But before they even went to her, it's
Right.
like,
I thought it was over.
yes,
Because
before
they
they went
both
to
had
her.
agreed that like because he said something like it's not fair for me or anyone to put all the weight on a decision like children on you to decide when you're not ready to decide yet. So to me, I'm like, totally fair, very mature, accurate. And she was like, thank you so much. So I was like, all right, we have an agreement.
Yeah.
And then they kept going.
Yeah.
I'm like,
But I thought the officiant had asked him, Mike, what do you say? And then there was no response. And then it went to her. It felt like the editing was weird. I don't know.
oh,
Watch it.
I'll have to
Watch it
look that
again.
back.
It was very weird to me because I felt like he made the statement of like, you need to tell us and to me, what it sounded like. This is a series of events that I heard. They get to the altar. He says, I need to know whether or not you want to have kids. the audience is like, her mom makes a face.
Yes.
Then the officiant says, Mike, what is your answer? Like, what is your answer? He does not answer. Then it just goes to her. She answers. And then it goes back to him, cliffhanger. That is what I got from it. I did not rewatch it, but that is what I understood as I watched it the one time.
There's a clear disconnect.
Yes.
With Netflix.
And
my eyes.
Yeah.
Your eyes. I'm gonna have to watch it back. I thought first of all, I'm surprised we even get this far in a couple in this episode. I thought they were gonna save all that for next week. I was surprised at her answer.
Yeah.
Were you?
Yeah. I was
You were surprised
surprised
at her answer.
that she said yes.
Yeah, her family was surprised at her own answer. Her mom was like,
she's like, I can't see my future without you. And he seemed so relieved that like I was like, oh, he's gonna say yes.
Well, because you saw the mom, and again, this is all editing stuff. But when the camera points to his mom, she's slowly like shaking her head. Who knows when that was happening? It could have been someone else's wedding or whatever the case may be. But when Emma starts saying, I can't, and in my head I was like, can't picture your life without him. And that's when she was like, can't picture my life without you. Yeah. And you can see him like breathe a sigh of relief. But to me, I'm like, is that relief or is that like, oh shit?
Yeah.
Now I thought you were gonna say no. Now it's got to be me to say no.
Yeah.
Because I think he's saying no.
Yeah.
I think he wants kids that bad where he's like, if it's not a hell yeah,
it's a hell no.
It's a hell no.
And
that's fair.
That's fair. Like I because my pendulum swings like that, like I don't understand. Like as soon as somebody were to be like, I don't know, I'd be like, oh, we can't be with together. What do you mean you don't know?
Yeah.
Like I don't operate in that like.
And that stings so much. But I mean, that's life.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, it's life. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we get to the end of it, and next week we get to see all the I do's. Let's do our predictions.
Okay.
So you think? Okay, let's write it down.
Oh, I should write it down. I should write it down, right? Hold myself accountable.
I write it down.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So Amber and Jordan.
Okay. What do you think?
I think they both say yes.
Okay.
Ashley and Alex.
Yes.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah.
Ashley and Alex. I think Alex says no.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we get to hear Ashley's. But I think I think he goes first and then she like storms off type thing. You know what I mean? But I think she would say no.
Okay.
If in the event that she goes first or whatever, I think she says no.
Okay, then we've got Brittany.
And Devontae. Devontae's a hell no. He says no. And Britney says no.
I hope she does.
I hope she does, yeah.
And then
who's left? Well, Connor and Bree, we already know is a no.
Christine and
Christine and Vic, they both say yes.
Yes, and yes.
They both say yes, yeah. It's actually, you know what?
And then Emma and...
Oh, that's right. Emma and Mike. I think Mike says no.
Okay. You think
Emma's already said yes. Actually, I want to change my Ashley vote.
Okay. What do you say Ashley says?
If Ashley goes first, she says yes.
Okay.
Because she's a stupid bitch. That's why.
That's okay. Why. So my predictions are Amber and Jordan, yes and yes. Mm-hmm. My predictions are Ashley and Alex. I say that Ashley says no. And that Alex says yes.
Really?
Yeah.
You think Alex says yes?
I mean, I think
that is fascinating.
I think that he would say no. Yeah, maybe he says no.
I'm like, what have you been watching, sister girl?
Because I feel like
you think for the plot he'll just because his life is riddled with poor choices, and this would be another. I could see that.
Okay, I get the same for that. You say that I think Mike says yes.
Oh, okay. You think because she says yes? Yeah.
So yes and yes. And Devontae and Brittany, I think Devontae says no, but I'm gonna say Brittany says I'm the same as you. No, no.
You think they both say no? Okay.
Yeah. All right. So really, we are agreed on two, no three. It's just Alex and Ash were different on,
Yeah.
and
Wait, did you say Vic and Christine?
yes, yeah, they
Okay.
both say yes.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
Um,
we'll see.
we'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
Do we know who the season is after this one? Where or the city?
I'm not sure. I don't.
They tend to tell us after the last one, I guess.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, because they'd be filming right now.
I feel like they filmed this one and the last one simultaneously. Like I feel like they did because we're getting them so fast. We'll
This was
see
very
though.
fast compared
We'll
to Denver. I didn't expect this one this soon.
Yeah. So we'll see what it is at the reunion, because the reunion will tell us how long ago it was. Because at the last reunion,
Are they live, the reunions? Typically?
they're not live, but they're like this week or
But
whatever, or
but,
last
like, more
week.
recent. Okay,
They're
right.
recent, yeah.
Not like they wouldn't have filmed it when they concluded.
Correct. They wouldn't have
Okay.
filmed it then. So what happens is that a lot of times the couples are like, "Oh yeah, this happened a year ago, or we got
Yeah.
married a year ago. We got married a year and a half ago."
Mhm.
And so like they're now at the point where they're like doing things simultaneously, and they're just dropping them on our plates as
Yeah.
they go. So the couples has been either been together or not together for a long time. Um
Well, we shall see. This
yeah.
was probably one of the more, you know, not the most, but one of the more entertaining seasons than the last two. Maybe it's because the last two, Denver was a snooze. Minneapolis wasn't great.
Minneapolis wasn't great, but it was only exciting because it was like close to
Yeah,
here. It was
exactly.
here, and
Yeah.
then Denver. Who was in Denver? I don't even remember. Were there any
Remember
black
that
people?
remember no one said yes? Yes, remember Edmund
Oh
who
yeah. Oh yeah,
needs
yeah,
a
yeah,
lot of
yeah.
support? Yeah.
That
He came on
happened a
my
year and a half
FYP.
ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
that happened a year and a half ago. The one that was really good is the one with Marshall. Remember
Yes.
Marshall got with that crazy girl who like flipped the script on him, and he was like so confused.
Yeah, so he actually is works for
Yeah.
Netflix Love is Blind now and helps apparently with their casting or something.
He says that he doesn't help cast, that he helps provide like context. So
Yeah,
if someone
to
reaches
the
out to him, to the cast, and like he can
yeah.
provide that support. But also so does Chelsea of like Kwame and Chelsea.
I'm surprised they're still together. I
Yeah,
didn't
me
see
too.
that in their season. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
You know
Who else
who's
is
not still together? You know
who?
who got is recently getting divorced? Is
Who?
Brennan and Alexa. Remember Brennan is like the cowboy and
Yes.
Alexa's like the Jewish.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, because she was Greek or
No,
Turkish?
she's Jewish. She's like Zionist
No.
Jewish.
Ah,
She's
okay.
like
Yeah, I remember they got on because I think, like I remember him
she's
saying what he
Israeli.
liked to make, like, shakshuka or something. What was it? What's the name of that dish? Whatever. That couple is, like, engraved in my brain because of that dish. I don't know why.
That couple's
Um,
engraved in my brain because
they
she
had
was
a
like the
baby
first,
too.
yeah, she was the first like plus size girl on the
Yes,
show,
yes, yes, yes.
and
Beautiful girl.
yeah, beautiful.
Yeah,
And her family was really like
yeah,
aggressive.
yeah.
Yeah.
I actually didn't think they would get together on the show just because, again, he seemed a lot more docile than
Hmm.
she was, but, it seemed to work, but I guess not.
Yeah.
Um,
They're getting a divorce now.
there's another couple that, crossed my radar, and I can't, it's escaping me now, but, it was, I think, after the 1st season or the 2nd season. Uh, remember, was it Barrett?
Oh yeah, Barrett and Amber. They were first season.
Yes.
They
Yeah,
were
1st
along with
season?
Cameron and
Really?
yeah, Cameron
No.
and Lauren.
I thought they were with
Barnett.
Kwame and the Barnett, that's who it is.
Yeah, that's first season.
Really?
Hmm.
I wonder how they're doing. I didn't see them go in the distance
I didn't see them going because
at
the
all.
thing that stands out in my mind is that when they were at his house and talking about all this debt she was in,
Yeah, he looked like
um,
he was not
like yeah, but they're still
gonna tolerate
together.
that.
Lauren and obviously Lauren and Cameron are
Yes,
still
the
together. They just had a
OGs.
baby. And then the two that just had a baby was like Blessings or Bliss.
Oh,
Remember
Bliss and
he
Zach.
chose
He
yeah, he
chose
chose
someone else
Irina.
and went back.
Yeah. And then like Zach's whole story about his mother being a stripper or being a
Oh
dancer.
my
And
god,
I'm
yes.
just like, girl, like boy, if you don't stop talking about this,
Leave your
you know
mama
how many
alone.
people like, yeah.
Yeah. all your mama's business
Yeah,
on the
talking about, oh,
interwebs.
yeah, like, oh, this is, girl, people mama have been in the clubs, girl.
Right, right, right,
You,
right. But
this is your,
he carried more shame on that than his mama did. So,
yeah,
mhm,
yeah. Paid the bills. You're fine,
right,
right? You went to
right.
school. You're a
You're
lawyer or
welcome.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
They're still together. And then there was like one other couple that I just did not remember at all. I was like, who the hell are they?
There are a
Um,
few seasons in the middle that I didn't quite watch.
yeah.
Um,
I've watched every season, but oh wait,
okay.
no, I didn't watch. There's one season I didn't watch because I was like, who are these people? I've never seen them a day in my life.
Well, obviously, these are nobodies.
But also, like I remember we were saying last time, is that they need to show us the couples who were on the show that got together but never got
Yes. I
talked
would
about.
watch that.
Yeah.
I would eat that up. I think a lot of people would. The behind the scenes, like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
people wanna know.
The people want to know. All right. Well, that is the end, you guys. We'll see you next week, either the 4th or the 5th, and we'll talk through this finale, and hopefully we get we'll get the weddings, but will we get the reunion? Probably the week after.
Mhm.
Thank you so much for joining us. Shay, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram and YouTube, Sugar Shay, and you can find me on TikTok at Shailene Says.
Yes. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for joining. Remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye. Jump in the line, rock your body on time. Okay, I believe you. Jump